So, dramatic improvement. Now, the second thing I noticed on the BT-MOTO website, which I actually have up here, we're gonna unleash its true potential. How do they know I like Skittles? Plugs in right there. So now it's begun the programming stage. All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Fly and Ride here. In today's video, we're gonna dive deep into the heart of this 2022 BMW R1250 GS. We're gonna unleash its true potential, finally, with a Stage 1 BT-MOTO upgrade. Now look, if you're like me and you've ever wondered what this beast is truly capable of, then this is the video for you. That's right. In this video, I'm gonna give you a high-level overview of all of the steps that you've got to follow to do this BT-MOTO tune to this BMW R1250 GS. There's a ton of videos out by BT-MOTO that have very detailed and specific instructions on how to follow this on your own. This video is not gonna be all that detailed, although I am gonna give you a high-level overview of the steps that I followed to get this done, and it's relatively easy, and if I can do it, you can do it. Now look, the BMW is already a powerhouse in my point of view. I absolutely love this bike, but this BT-MOTO upgrade, it just takes this bike to a whole nother level. So let me break down the benefits that you're gonna get if you do this BT-MOTO tune. First of all, the first thing we're gonna see is more power and more torque gains due to the unrestricted throttle and removal of limiters in each gear. There's gonna be exhaust valve adjustments that are made for the best sound and again, maximum torque and horsepower. And the other thing that it also does is it eliminates overheating issues with lower fan-on temperatures. What this also does is it smooths out the part of the throttle and low RPM rideability to combat that annoying bucking and jerking with proper fueling. And also, top speed limiter, gone. You can now hit speeds well over 135 miles an hour in an approved course, of course. The torque model has been reshaped on this. So you're gonna have more power at all RPMs, whether you are only using a little bit of the throttle or the full throttle. The ignition timing has also been optimized for every fuel, and you've got full throttle limiters that have been adjusted from 80% at low RPM to 100% for instant response. Engine braking has been updated in all modes. No more cold and warm start issues. It's a thing of the past. They've removed the known flat spots in the RPM range. Again, the rev limit has been adjusted. And finally, the software has been updated and adapted for multiple fuels. So look, overall, BT-MOTO and their team, they've spent a ton of time removing, again, this sort of mid-range and bad sluggish throttle response, along with this sort of jerking and bucking that I talked about a second ago throughout the power range. So after this mapping, the bike will essentially perform like a completely different monster, and I'm gonna bring that to you all here in this video. Let me show you how cool this package is. So this awesome sticker right here comes in the box. Got a nice card. And look at this, they sent me Skittles. How do they know I like Skittles? Awesome job, BT-MOTO. This is the package that the actual tuner comes in. I'm gonna show you that here in a second. And then this is what the software looks like after you've installed it on the computer. So really quickly, and before I show you this, all you need to do is follow their very, very detailed instructions. You have to use a PC, you download this software, you update this software, and then the next step is you actually connect the tuner to this software, you upgrade the tuner, and then you follow the very, very specific instructions of connecting the tuner, plug it into the bike, you get a base map of what's currently on the bike, you send them an email with that base map, and then in a day or so, they send you back essentially the new map that you reflash onto the bike. I basically covered that very, very quickly. Again, very full detailed, full instructions on the BT-MOTO website, which I actually have up here on my television. Make sure you go check it out. Lots of videos. They not only do work on this BMW R1250 GS, but they do a ton of work on all of the bikes. And then when we go out actually on the ride and I give you my first impressions and my real-time reactions to this awesome upgrade, I'm gonna also talk about why I chose to collaborate with BT-MOTO. And that's right, this is a collaboration. BT-MOTO was nice enough to offer me a great discount on this product. Although I still paid for the product, they did offer me a discount, which is part of this collaboration. And my commitment is to give you real-time, fully transparent, real-time impressions, and hopefully you can use it as you consider this upgrade on your BMW R1250 GS or other applicable bikes that BT-MOTO does this type of upgrade for. So let me just show you how cool this thing looks. Look at this. Look at this packaging. That looks awesome. So if you scan this, it takes you right to the links of all of the instructions that I just talked about. Another sticker, another card. Nice. Let's take this out of the box. Show you that right here. Okay. This is the cables. Let me just take this out of here. And these are the supply cables that come with it. Right there. And right there. This is what connects to the bike. And in case you're wondering, the plug for this bike is underneath that battery cover right there. And I'll take that off and show you that in a second. So that's what comes in the box. I'm gonna show you here real quick. It's already plugged in. And all I'm doing is following the steps here to do the actual software update. Once this is completed, you can see it right there. And then we plug it back into the bike, we get the base map, and we send it to them. Now let me show you real quick where this plug gets plugged into. This gets plugged into the flasher on this side, and this bad boy, take this cover off right here. I just did that, and this is the actual plug. This actually comes out, plugs in right there. See it there? Kind of plugs in, it just comes right out here. This comes off, and then that plug plugs in here. And then you follow the instructions that's provided so that it stores the baseline map on the flash, and then after that you connect that flash back on the computer. You download it to the computer and then you send it to their website, and then in 24 to 48 hours they send you back a new map. It's that simple. So now it's begun the programming stage. You can see the file there, and then this is perfectly normal. If that happens to you, it's absolutely normal. Just wait till it finishes and it will go away. There you go. Writing ECU completed. It says wait, analyzing log in progress. We are done. Time to disconnect and start this bad boy up. All right, BT-MOTO Flash Stage 1 complete. This is now the first cold start after the BT-MOTO Flash was complete on my 2022 BMW R1250 GS. All right, so I got the bike outside. You're actually going to hear another cold start here. Now we're going to take it out for a ride, and I'm going to give you all of my impressions. I'm going to give you all of the differences that I notice, things to consider, things to think about, all of my real-time impressions after updating this to a stage 1 BT-MOTO tune. And by the way, there is a stage 2 that you can do to this. I haven't done it yet. Basically, you replace the stacks, and then that also continues to transform this bike. This is the stage 1, first impressions. Let's get this thing going. I've got my Indy Ridge gloves. I've got my Beyond Riders gear. I've got my Indy Ridge boots. I'm going to give you multiple angles here so you can see directly the speedometer and the speed as the gears change. I'm going to give it to you in different modes. Again, all of the real-time impressions here for the first time riding it after I updated it to this BT-MOTO Stage 1. Okay, so one of the first things that you're going to notice after you do this BT-MOTO Flash to Stage 1 is when you start your bike, the idle has changed. So prior to the BT-MOTO tune, when you would start the bike, it would be accelerated for the first 30 seconds or so, and then it would go down to what you hear right here. With this tune, right out of the gate, it starts at this idle. Here's the other thing that I would tell you that I noticed. So on these bikes, if you can see there, hopefully you can see it, you can see the rev limit. It's right around 5,500 right now, and then as the bike warms up, it goes all the way to 9,000 RPMs. Now, for whatever reason, I don't remember measuring the time that it takes for this to warm up. However, after this BT-MOTO Flash, I think it takes a bit longer to go from the starting point, which is 5,500, all the way to 9,000. Now, you can ride the bike and keep it under the 6,000 RPM, but I like to at least wait till I get to 7,000 rev limit before I start to take her out. So out of the gate, those are the first two things that I noticed after the Stage 1 BT-MOTO Flash. I'll give you a nice walk around of the bike while it warms up. I've done a ton of upgrades on this bike. If you see anything that calls your attention here and you're interested, hit me down in the comments below. I'm happy to walk you through it, expand on all the things that I've done to the bike. We're gonna take her out, go nice and slow, and then I'm gonna get to some roads that I can really put it to the test. I'm going to start to give you my impressions of what I'm noticing it as I go along here. Alright, so these bikes, one of the things that you hear a lot on these bikes, stock, prior to any tune, is when you use the auto shifter between first and second, it's very jumpy, it's very abrupt. That's the first thing I noticed, completely fixed after this Moto Flash. After this BT-MOTO Flash. Now, the second thing I noticed, so after you use the auto shift from first to second, it was smooth sailing from second all the way to 6. And by and large, it's still the case. However, I noticed from second to third, now it feels a bit more jerky. Again, if you've done this in the past and you have this bike, would love to know if you're feeling the same thing or if it's just me. I would tell you though, it's minor, and it's a lot less than you would feel in the past between first and second. But again, these are first impressions. I'm going to continue to ride the bike, and I'll come back for a full review here in the future. All right, third thing. So I've given you two things already that I've noticed in terms of a difference. The third thing, the sound completely changes on this bike. Now, I happen to go with an aftermarket exhaust, so I've got an Akrapovic exhaust, which I think sounds awesome. But I don't know if the microphone is capturing that deceleration. It just rumbles now across all of the gears. It never did that before. And again, I actually tested this bike without the BT-MOTO Flash and just the Akrapovic exhaust. It sounded better but nowhere near what it sounded right now. So dramatic improvement in the sound across the full RPM range with the tune, and then in my case tied with this exhaust. All right, the fourth thing, and this is a big one, and you heard me talk about it at the beginning of the video, laying out all of the things that this BT-MOTO tune promises, is adjusting that jerkiness that happens in the lower gears. Now I'm going to pull over here in a second, and I'm going to just sort of demonstrate, because it completely took that away, and that in and of itself, I think it's worth the investment to the tune, let alone all the other things I'm about to give you. I think I'm up to number 4 here, but it smooths out that throttle dramatically and takes away all of that jerkiness. All right, let me slow down here. There's nobody behind me. So typically at this speed, look, right now, no jerkiness. You see that? Before, it would jerk back and forth at this speed, even on second. Look at this, super smooth. All right, so that's a big one, and that's the fourth thing. All right, the fifth thing. Nice and smooth, beautiful. All right, the fifth thing is the lag on the acceleration is completely gone. I mean, the minute you hit this throttle, this thing just moves. Look at that. Look how subtle that is. And it's on 4th gear. Look at that. And that happens throughout the RPM range. All right, so the sixth thing that I'm going to tell you that I feel, and again, just first impressions here, is I definitely feel more power throughout the RPM range. Now, I think this part will be, I don't know, somewhat subjective, because, you know, the BT-MOTO Flash promises more power, and if you think you're getting more power, typically that's what you feel. But I really do think there is a difference. And the reason why I can unequivocally tell you that is, as most of you know, we ride our bikes a lot, and we notice even the smallest minute differences on a bike. At least I do. I can tell on the Harley, I can tell on this one. And because of that, I've got a great baseline of what this bike felt like before this BT-MOTO Flash. And I can tell you, again, unequivocally, the bike has more power based on this magic that they do across the RPM range. So that's the fifth thing that I will tell you that I am feeling as part of this sort of first impression video. And again, I'm going to show you that now. I'm gonna take it to a nice straightaway here. I'm gonna kind of roll these gears. I've got the camera here that is pointing at my TFT display here. That should give you a nice view. So we're gonna get there in a second. Man, just listen to that. Hopefully this mic is capturing that sound. Man, it's just absolutely beautiful out. The temperature is 71 degrees right now. Just perfect temperature to ride. Just listen to that rumble. Just sounds just awesome, so responsive. And I only have it on road mode. We're gonna put it in dynamic mode here in a little bit. Actually gonna change it right now. All right, we're in dynamic pro. Hey officer, how you doing? All right, so let's see what we got here. Yeah, I think this is focused there in the right area. Let me turn this bad boy on. Alright, I'm gonna kind of measure this acceleration here real quick up to the light. See how it goes. just boogies. Of course, there's a lot of cars here. Can't really put it to the test. So again, 2 quick runs. I'm not doing top speed today. I'll bring that to you in another video. But you can tell how quickly this thing moves through those gears. Super smooth. Again, power throughout that range. You see that? Just instant. Gotta love it. Oh yeah, woo! And this bike was just absolutely fun before. After this, it's just a completely different bike. But you see how fast that thing accelerates? It's insane. Got lots of bikes out today. Hear how smooth that is, avoiding these potholes. This bike is just super nimble. Everybody's got their mountain bikes out. I mean, it's Labor Day weekend, so it's gonna be a nice one. Last long weekend of the summer. Hope everybody is having a great one. Nice. Look how beautiful this is. Man, that water is way up today. Must be high tide. Look at that. It's right there. All right, I'm going to launch the drone here real quick and give you some runs. I've got this mic right here, so I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to launch the drone and just give you some runs so you can hear the true sound of this exhaust as those gears are shifting. Take this bad boy out of here. Give you a few runs here with the drone in the sky. Let's see. All right, first run. Here we go. Got a truck coming there. Let me get out of the way here. All right, let's bring it back down. Let me show you how to appropriately land a drone by hand. There you have it. All right, so look, hopefully you enjoyed some of those runs. And overall, I got to tell you, my first impressions from this BT-MOTO Flash is it just completely changes the bike. Highly recommended. I'm going to continue to ride this, and I'm going to give you a full review after I put some miles on this tune, but I am completely impressed. Super happy with the choice. Make sure you go reach out to BT-MOTO if you've got one of these. They also work on a ton of different bikes. BT-MOTO.com, I believe, is their website. Make sure you go check them out. So look, I'm going to wrap it up. Do me a favor, if you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification so you can be reminded of future content like this one. Thanks for watching.